Hey everybody, Mr. G here. So I'm not going to be there today, so the way we're going to do this is I'm recording the lesson, so you're going to need your math books to follow along and do the work like we always do. You'll be using your math books, you'll be using your whiteboard marker eraser like we normally do in class. All of it's pretty much the same as it is in class when I'm there. The only difference is you're each going to be doing it on your own, listening on your own, okay? So I need you to be listening, paying attention, and following along, staying with me. I know I have some of you that like to go ahead and you don't pay attention. Jesus, Rico, Isaac, pay attention, stay with me. I've left notes for the sub that the video is this long and you cannot turn anything in or be done with anything until the time of the video is done. So you might as well just take your time. Just as a reminder also, I can still see what you're doing on your computer and I will be watching. So please be on task and be doing what you're supposed to do. You guys know that the other student's going to let me know what happens and what's going on, and the sub's going to leave me notes. So I need you sitting in your seat, paying attention, not talking, not messing around, not playing, and doing your work. Okay. Jeremiah C, I need you to stay awake and work. The sub and everyone else is going to let me know. Jeremiah R, I don't want to see you out of your seat. I don't want to hear about you messing with any money at all. Okay. Daniela, Natalia, make sure you're staying in your seat and listening. Okay. I need you to stay in your seat and listen, not be playing around, because everyone is going to let me know. All right, here we go. So first you're going to need your whiteboard marker and eraser. Whiteboard marker, eraser. Okay. On your whiteboard, draw a number bond to partition one hole into halves. Partition means split up into. So we're going to make a number bond. With our number bond, first goes the hole. Here a hole is going to equal the same as two halves because we're using halves. Okay. How many halves do we need? We need 2. How do we know? The denominator is 2. So half, half. Okay, that's it. That's all we're doing right now. Okay. So you'll do this on your whiteboard. You'll check it, erase, and then you'll do the next one. Okay, so you're working with me. That's what it should look like. How many copies of 1/2 did you draw to make one whole? 2. Okay. Erase, next one. Now again, I'm going to be going pretty quick because I'm recording this. If you need to pause it, whatever you need to do, rewind, pause, whatever, okay? On your whiteboard, draw a number bond to partition one hole into thirds. One hole into thirds. So one hole again, thirds, 3 thirds equals one hole. How many pieces do I need to partition? 3 because the denominator is 3. Each one is going to be 1/3. Okay. Let's check it. There it is. How many copies of 1/3 did you draw to make one whole? We drew 3. Okay, erase. You're going to do it again. This time you're going to draw a number bond to partition one hole into fourths. One hole into fourths. So first make your hole. We're using fourths. So you're going to need 4. Each one is going to be 1/4. And this is what it should look like. How many copies of 1/4 did you draw to make one whole? 4. We used 4. Okay, go ahead and erase. Wake up. Wake up. Pay attention. Wake up. Next, you're going to do it again. This time, you're going to draw a number bond to partition one whole into fifths. Fifths. So make your whole. You're doing fifths. And then, since you're doing fifths, you know how many pieces you're going to need. Each piece is going to be and this is what it should look like. Okay. How many copies of 1/5 did you draw to make one whole? We drew 5. Okay. Sophia, I need you to focus. Okay, Sophia, I need you to focus. John, pay attention. John, pay attention. Vanilda, I don't want to see that you're talking. Liana, I don't want to see that you're talking. Pay attention. Do your work. Okay, this time I'm going to do it again. You're going to make a number bond. You're going to partition one whole into 6. 6. So make your whole first. You're using 6. Since you're using 6, you're going to need how many pieces? And what goes in each piece? This is what it should look like. How many copies of 1/6 did you draw to make one whole? We drew 6. 6. Wake up. Okay, here we go. Let's continue. Next one is going to be same thing. You're going to do the number bond, except that you're going to partition one whole into 7ths. 7ths. So make your whole. We're using 7ths. So we need 7. And this is what it should look like. How many copies of 1/7 did you draw to make one whole? There you go. 7. 7. Lucas, you better be in your seat working, man. I don't want to hear that you're up and around everywhere. And you need to stay away from Jesus. Leave Jesus alone. Okay. All right, another one. This time you're going to use 8ths. 8ths. Number bond to partition one whole into 8ths. 8ths. So your whole is going to equal 8/8. And how much do you need to partition into? 8 pieces. How much is each one worth? 1/8. That's what it should look like. How many copies of 1/8 did you draw to make one whole? 8. All right, here we go. Go ahead and erase. We're going to go on to something different on the number line. Something different on the number line. Okay, so what I want you to do on your drawing board is draw this number line right here, just like it is. And we're going to estimate to mark and label where fractions are. Okay, so 1/3. Okay, 1/3. Now we know we're working with thirds, right? So 1/3 would be between 0 and 1 because it's less than one whole. So we're going to use this area. Thirds. We have 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. They want 1/3. That's where it would be. Okay. Next one is 3/3. 3/3. So right where 3/3 would be. There it is. 3/3 or 1/2. 6/3. 6/3. Okay. There's two ways to find this. Okay. We know that 6/3 is more than a whole. So I can split this into 3 also. 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. That's one way, right? Another way is 6/3 is going to be 2. How do I know? Because 3 times 2 is 6, or count by 3s, 2 times is 6, which would give us the 6/3. So 6/3. Next, 9/3. Same thing. 9/3 is more than 6/3, so it's going to go into the next section. I can split that into 3s also. I know it's 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, 9/3. That's one way. Another way is 9/3. I'm going to the 3. So I did 3, 6, 9. 9/3. Okay. Now, let's see what else they got. 4/3. 7/3. 2/3. 8/3. Go back. Finish that. Okay. Alright, when you're done with that, go ahead and erase. You can put your whiteboard marker eraser to the side. You're going to go to Learn Book, page 113. Learn Book, page 113. Okay. Now we'll be checking your books to see who was doing the work and who was not. Okay, here we go. Page 113, Learn Book. Third grade students are growing peppers. The student with the longest pepper wins the Green Thumb Award. Jackson's pepper measured 3 inches long. Drew's measured 10/4 inches long. Who won the award? Draw a number line to help prove your answer. This got moved. It should be over here. Okay. So, RDW, we just read. Now we have to draw, but first we have to figure out what we're going to draw. So, what do we know? Well, we know that it's a contest. We know we need to compare. We know Jackson's pepper measured 3 inches long. Drew's was 10/4 inches long. We have to draw a number line to see who won. So we're going to start with our number line. 3 inches, because that's how long Jackson's measured. So I need to add 1, 2, 3. Okay. We gotta pay attention. Here we go. Now we're going to, Jackson's was 3 inches, so Jackson's came all the way to here. I'll put a J for Jackson's right here. Okay. Drew's measures 10/4 inches long. So fourths, everyone has to be in fourths. So I need 3 lines in between each one. So there's my 3 there. There's my 3 there. There's my 3 there. Okay. fourths, 0 fourths, 1 fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths, 4 fourths, or 1 whole, 5 fourths, 6 fourths, 7 fourths, 8 fourths, 9 fourths, 10 fourths, 11 fourths, 12 fourths. Okay. Drew's went 10 fourths. Here's 10 fourths. Put a D for Drew. Okay. So now we can take a look and see at which one was greater. Okay. How do we know which one's greater? Well, the one that is furthest from the 0 is greater. So think of it like a ruler. Okay, so it's just like using a ruler where we're going to measure the peppers. The one that's the longest or furthest away from 0 is the one that's the longest. So in this case, we know that 3 inches is greater than 10/4 inches. Okay. So we drew and then we write. Okay. If you need to copy this, if you got a little behind, go ahead and pause the video so I can keep going. Yeah, erase this so you can see that one better. Don't worry, I'll put the other one up. If you need to rewind and see it again, go ahead and rewind it and pause it, it's fine. There it is. That's what it should look like. Okay. Now we labeled all of them, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Alright, let's go on. Okay. Today I am learning to compare fractions and whole numbers on the number line by reasoning about their distance from 0. So we're going to look at this number line and we're going to use it to measure and to compare. Okay. So we're going to use 1/3 and 2/3. Okay, so I'm going to make my number line. You'll be doing this on your whiteboard. So we're going to start by doing our number line. 0, 1. And we want to place 1/3 and 2/3 on the number line. So thirds, we need to split it into thirds. This would be 0 thirds, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Okay, so 1/3, 2/3. Okay, you can see where 1/3 and 2/3 is. So let's think about it and let's compare that. Okay, which fraction is greater, 1/3 or 2/3? Right, 2/3. Why? Because it's further from 0 than 1/3. 1/3 is closer to 0. Okay, makes sense? Just like a ruler. Okay. Now we're going to take 1/6. 1/6. Now what that means is we're going to make 6 pieces here. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. 1/6, 3 is half of 6. Okay, but remember with fractions, the bigger the number, the bigger the piece. So I'm sorry, the smaller the number, the smaller the number, the bigger the piece. So if we have 6, it's going to be less than 1/3. So we would have 1/6 would be about right here. Okay. Now we can look at it still and see that 1/6 would be less than 1/3, less than 2/3, less than 3/3, because it's closer to 0 than they are. Now we're going to use the same number line. Let me go back to it. We're going to use the same number line. Okay. And we're going to put a few more of these in order. Okay. So. Okay, so we have our 1/6, so we're going to compare, we're going to go ahead and finish labeling this, okay? So 1/6 would be halfway between 0/3 and 1/3, okay? 2/6 would line up with 1/3. Why? If you double 1, it's 2. If you double 3, it's 6. Draw another half. That would be 3, 6. This would be 4, 6. Why? 2 doubled is 4. 3 doubled is 6. Okay. 5, 6, and 6, 6, or 1 whole. Okay. So if I took 4 people, okay, if I took 4 people and I put them all on 0, put them all on 0, okay, 4 people, and I tell them to throw the ball to a certain fraction. Okay. So let's pretend here is number 1. Number 1's going to throw the ball to 1/3, 2, 6. Okay. Number 2 is going to throw the ball to 3, 6. That's number 2. Number 3 is going to throw the ball to 5, 6. And number 4 is going to throw the ball to 6, 6, or 3/3. Okay? So looking at this, which number threw the ball the furthest? Right, 4, because 4 is 3/3 or 6, 6, and that's furthest away from 0 than any of the other ones. Okay. Which number threw the ball the closest? Right, number 1, because it's 1/3, 2, 6, and that's the closest one to 0. Okay, it's important to know that. Now, in order to compare them, they all had to start in the same spot, 0. Okay, I can't have one start at 0, one start at 2, one start at 4, because you can't compare them. They're not the same. Okay, just like running a race. Okay, when you're running a race, you're all even, you're all together, you all start at the same time. That's fair. That's even. That's equal. Okay, same thing here. Okay. All right, get that. Get that. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, now let's think about this. Earlier, we did the measurement of the peppers. Remember that? It was 0 and 3. Okay. Now, when we did it before, it was inches. So we could easily use a ruler and see where the inches are. Okay. But if we were using yards, how would that be different? One way it would be different is the distance is different. 1 yard is bigger than 1 inch. So the measurement would be different. Now, would the fractions be different? Fractions would be the same. The only thing that would change would be the distance. Okay. Now, we could use a yardstick to measure instead. We could still use rulers, but we'd have to use quite a few rulers just to get 1 yard. Okay. So that is the difference. All right, page 115. Page 115 in your Learn book. You're going to work on this for 10 minutes on your own. Okay, 10 minutes on your own. I'm going to put a timer. Do not forward the timer. Leave the timer running and actually work on it, because after the 10 minutes, I'm going to do it with you and you can check it. Do it on your own. You cannot get better. You cannot learn if you don't do it on your own first. You don't learn anything from copying from me. Okay? So, Natalia, Daniela, sit and work it on your own. You don't need help. Okay? Try on your own. Okay? Now, I'm going to put a timer for the 10 minutes, and you will work for the 10 minutes. Okay, listen. Those of you who are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, I want you to, without letting anyone know, don't let anyone know unless you're listening. Okay, you're the only one listening, so you're the only one that should be doing it when you're listening. Don't tell everyone else. Those of you who are listening and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will hear this message. So I want you to go to your exit ticket right now. Go ahead and put your name on it. And I want you to write Mr. G next to your name. Again, go to your exit ticket right now, put your name on it, and write Mr. G next to it. That way I know you were listening like you were supposed to be listening. Don't tell the other people. Don't tell anyone else. Just do it if you're listening. Time's almost up. Keep going. Jeremiah, quit playing and work. Lucas, pay attention. Manila, quit talking and work. Austin, pay attention. Austin, get to work. All right, here we go. Let's go over it. Now, if I'm going too fast again, just like with the homework, just pause it. Do what you need to do. Okay. Place the two fractions on the number line. Circle the fraction with the distance closest to 0. Then compare greater than, less than, or equal. The first problem is done for you. Okay, 1/4 and 3/4. So I'm just ignore this. It kind of got messed up. So I'm gonna label at the bottom. So this is 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Here would be 1/4 and 3/4. 3/4 is greater, it's further away from 0, so it would get the 2 dots. Smaller one gets 1, you connect them, and 1/4 is less than 3/4. Okay, next one. Again, like I said, I'm going to go quick, so if I go too quick, just pause it. Okay, 2, 6, 3, 6. 6 is my denominator, so I need 6 pieces. Okay, label 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. We need 2, 6, and 3, 6. 3, 6 is further from 0, so it's larger, so it would get the 2. 2, 6 gets 1. Connect the dots. 2, 6 is less than 3, 6. Okay. Next one. Half and 1/4. Half and 1/4. So I'm going to do half first because it's easier. Cut it in half. If I need 4 pieces, I need to cut each one of those in half. So I'm going to label fourths at the top. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Here's 1/4. Here's half. Half is bigger because it's further from 0, so half would get 2. 1/4 gets 1. Connect them. Half is greater than 1/4. 2/3, 2/6. 2/3, 2/6. Okay. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do thirds first. I'm going to label thirds on the top. Okay. And then I'm going to do 6 on the bottom. So 0, 6. And 6, we have to split those in half. So 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. Now, if you notice, 1/3 and 2, 6 line up together because 1 doubled is 2, 3 doubled is 6. 2/3 and 4, 6 line up because they're also equivalent. 2 is double, 4, 3 doubled is 6. Okay. So 2/3 would be here, and 2, 6 would be here. So 2/3 is further from 0, so it's greater. 2, 6 is less. Connect the dots. 2/3 is greater than 2, 6. All right, last one on this page. 11/8 and 7/4. So I'm going to do 4ths first. Oh, yes, 4ths first. Now, here you have to be careful. If you notice, your number line starts with 1. It doesn't start with 0. So we have to start with a whole. So if we're going to do 4ths, a whole for 4ths is 4 fourths, 5 fourths, 6 fourths, 7 fourths, 8 fourths. Okay, now I'll do 8ths. 8th, 4 is half of 8, so we're going to have to split these in half. 0 8ths, 1 8, 2 8ths. I think I did that wrong. Yes, I did already. Okay, see what I did wrong there? I started with 0 8ths. Should have started with 8 8ths. Honey, if you don't pay attention, it's going to happen. 8 8ths, 9 8ths, 10 8ths, 5 doubled is 10, 4 doubled is 8, 11 8ths, 12 8ths, 6 doubled is 12, 4 doubled is 8, 12 8ths, 12 8ths, 13 8ths, 14 8ths, again 7 doubled is 14, 4 doubled is 8, 15 8ths, 16 8ths, 8 doubled is 16, 4 doubled is 8. Okay, so we're looking for 11 8ths and 7 4s. 11 8ths, 7 4s. 7 4ths is further from 0, so it's greater. Connect the dots. 11 8ths is less than 7 4ths. Okay, remember if you need to pause, rewind, or whatever, to go ahead and do it. I'm moving on to the next page. Number 6. Word problem, RDW. Joanne and Lupe live straight down the street from their school. Joanne walks 5-6 miles and Lupe walks 7-8 miles home from school every day. Draw a number line to model how far each girl walks. Who walks the least? Explain how you know using pictures, numbers, and words. Okay, we read. Now we have to draw, but first we have to see what we're going to draw. So now we're comparing two people. Joanne walks 5-6 miles. Lupe walks 7-8 miles. Okay, they want us to draw a number line to see who walks the least. The least. Okay. So I have Joanne. and I have Lupe. Number lines need to be the same length. Start at the same spot. Okay. Now, if I look at my fractions, 5, 6, 7, 8, neither one of them is above 1. So I'll go from 0 to 1. Okay. 5, 6 first, so I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 0 fifths, 1 fifth, 2 fifths, fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths. Okay. Next would be my eighths. Next would be my eighths. So I have 0 eighths, 1 eighth, 2 eighths, 3 eighths, 4 eighths, 5 eighths, 6 eighths, 7 eighths, 8 eighths. Okay. So we want to know, I think I did this wrong. Of course I did it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did it wrong. Guys, I apologize. I'm sorry. Well, we're just going to work with it the way it is. Okay. So instead of 5 fifths, we're going to say 5 6, we're going to say 5 fifths. Okay. Or 4 fifths. It comes out to the same 4 fifths. Okay. So what's greater? 4 fifths or 7 eighths? Well, here's 4 fifths. Here's 7 eighths. So we know that 7 eighths is greater than 4 fifths. We drew, we wrote. Okay, sorry about that. I messed it up. Wasn't paying attention. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. Okay. Number 7. RDW. Cheryl cuts 2 pieces of thread. The blue thread is 5/4 meters long. The red thread is 4/5 meter long. Draw a number line to model the length of each piece of thread. Which piece of thread is shorter? Explain how you know using pictures, numbers, and words. We read it. Now we have to draw. First, we have to figure out what we're going to draw. So, 2 pieces. One is 5/4 meters long. One is 4/5 meter long. They want to know which one is shorter. So I need 2 number lines. I need one for blue, and I need one for red. And make them the same size. They start at the same place. Okay. Blue is 5/4 meter long. So 5/4 is more than 1. More than 1. Okay. 4/5 is less than 1. So I'm going to have to go from 0 to 2. 0 to 2. Split it so that I can have my 1. 1. Okay. All right, here we go. 5/4. We need fourths. So each piece needs to be cut into 4. 1, 2, 3. That makes 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3. That makes 4 pieces. Now I label. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, and here is 5/4. Okay. Now I'm going to label the next one. which is 4/5. 4/5. So I need 5. 4. So that's 0/5, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. Okay. And here is 4/5. So I can clearly see that 5/4 is greater than 4/5. So which one is shorter? 4/5 is shorter. So 4/5 is less than 5/4. Okay. And the last one, number 8. Remember, if you need to go back, pause it, rewind, whatever you need to do. Okay, last one. And I forgot over here. We drew and we wrote 8. Brandon makes homemade spaghetti. He measures 3 noodles. One measures 7/8 feet. The second is 7/4 feet. And the third is 4/2 feet long. Draw a number line to model the length of each piece of spaghetti. Write a number sentence using less than, greater than, or equal to compare the pieces. Explain using pictures, numbers, and words. Read it. Now we have to draw. First we have to see what we need to draw. So there's 3 noodles. 7/8 feet, 7/4 feet, and 4/2 feet. They want us to compare using less than, greater than, equal. So we're going to have to draw 3 number lines. Or we'll draw one number line and try to put the numbers where they go. Okay. This is gonna be a little tough. Here we go. So I'm gonna make my number line. Okay. I'm going to go to, let's see, from 0 to 2, because 7/8 is less than 1, but 7/4 is more than 1, and 4/2 is more than 1. So I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to 2. So I need 1 in the middle. Okay. Now, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 8s. So that means I have to cut both pieces into 8s. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay. So I'll label 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. Oops, I did that wrong. 0, 7. I think I put this in the wrong one. 8/8, 9/8, 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14/8, 15/8, 16/8. I need to make one more. Sorry, not one. Okay. So first one is 7/8, which is right here. Okay. The next one is 7/4. 7/4. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into 4s. Okay. How do I know where to go? Well, 1/4. If I look at 2/8, half of 2 is 1, half of 8 is 4. That's 1/4. Okay. 2/4. 2/4 is 4 is half of, 2 is half of 4, and 4 is half of 8. Okay. Next is 3/4. 6, half of 6 is 3, half of 8 is 4, so that's 3/4. And then 4/4. fourths is a whole. Okay. Let me move this up a little bit. This is one whole. Okay. And we're looking for 7/4, so we got to keep going 4/4. 5/4. Half of 10 is 5. Half of 8 is 4. 6/4. Half of 12 is 6. Half of 8 is 4. 7/4. Half of 14 is 7. Half of 4 is 8. And 8/4. Half of 16. Half of 8. Okay. So 7/4 would be here. And the last one is 4/2. 4/2. Now this was tricky because I'm going to have to start with one whole, because 4/2, 2/2 would be one whole. So 2/2. Okay. 3/2 would be here. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 4 is 2. And then 4/2 would be a whole. Half of 8 is 4. Half of 4 is 2. We're looking for 4/2, so 4/2 would be here. Okay, so 4/2, 7/8, 7/4. Okay, so we know that. I ran out of room. 7/8 is less than 7/4. 7/4 is less than 4/2. We wrote. Okay. All right. Go ahead and go to your exit ticket. Put your name and the date. If you need to finish that, pause it. I'm going to move on to the exit ticket. I'm going to read it for you. Here we go. Place the two fractions on the number line. Circle the fraction with the distance closest to 0. Then compare using greater than, less than, or equal. 3/5, 1/5. So you need to partition into 5 pieces. Put where 3/5 is, put where 1/5 is, and compare. Number 2, half and 3/4. I would do half first, label it. And since you have 4s, it's going to be half of those. Label one on the top and one on the bottom. That way you don't get them confused. And then you compare them. The word problem, we're be sure you use RDW. Mr. Brady draws a fraction on the board. He says it's 2/3. And Dan said it's 3/2. Do both of these fractions mean the same thing? If not, which fraction is larger? Draw a number line to model 2/3 and 3/2. Use words, pictures, and numbers to explain your comparison. Now, I would do the first one. It's 2/3. That's less than 1. Okay. Now, here's the tricky part. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to have to do it 2 in order to show both of them. So I'm going to do them both to 2. Sorry. 2. 0 to 2. And you'd have to put 1/2, 1/2. Okay. So, first one, do 2/3. It's not going to go past 1. The next one, do 3/2. It is going to go past 1. Label all of them, both of them, and see which one is a larger. And then turn it in. You know where to turn it in. Go to Splash Learn when you're done. Now, when you get to Splash Learn, you're going to do From My Teacher first. If you happen to finish From My Teacher, then you can do any of the activities on Splash Learn. Real quick, for those of you that don't know or don't remember, the code for my class is SJCTRE, and the password is the watermelon. For Ms. Williamson's class, your code is VTBZIH. Okay, if it's not an I, it's an L. I'm not sure. Okay, but I think it's an I. If it's not, try an L. And your password is the star. Okay, do Splash Learn. The sub will tell you when to stop with math and go on to science. When it's time for science, you will go to Discovery Education. You will watch the videos that I've assigned. You should not be done with them before class is done, because I know how long the videos are and how long it should take you. So watch them. Also, remember, I will be watching you on Go Guardian, so make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. I will see y'all when I go back to school.